This is another Prime Crime Network
exclusive.
Javon Henry Allen Belcher was born July 24th, 1987, and dearly departed December 1st, 2012. He was an American football linebacker who played his entire career with the Kansas City Chiefs of the National Football League. He grew up in West Babylon, New York, and was a standout high school football athlete before attending and graduating from the University of Maine, where he played for the Maine Black Bears. Belcher was an excellent football player. He was named an All-American twice in college after switching in his junior year from linebacker to defensive end. Belcher was considered a strong small school NFL prospect, but however, he wasn't selected in the 2009 NFL Draft. He was later signed as a free agent by the Kansas City Chiefs and became a regular starter at inside linebacker in 2010. His most productive season was in 2011, when he had 61 tackles and 26 assists. He was re-signed by the Kansas City Chiefs before the 2012 season and played in the team's first 11 games. But things took a horrible twist by late 2012. See, Belcher was living with his girlfriend, Cassandra Perkins, and their 3-month-old baby, Zoe, at 5401 Chrysler Ave in Kansas City. Belcher and Perkins were introduced through Kansas City Chiefs running back at the time, Jamal Charles, whose wife was a first cousin of Perkins. Perkins had also done voluntary work in the community and with the Chiefs as part of the women's organizations, a group of players' wives and significant others who do charity work and run awareness campaigns. Friends stated that the couple argued frequently, including after Perkins returned home at 1 a.m. from a Trey Songz concert at the Midland Theater on the same night of November 30th, 2012. After the argument, Perkins went to the Power and Light District, an entertainment area by the Midland and T-Mobile Center in downtown Kansas City. Belcher was also in the Power and Light District with a different woman. After losing the woman in the crowd, Belcher drove to her apartment, but she was not home at the time. The police found him there at 2:50 a.m. after receiving a 911 call about a suspicious person in a car sitting on Armour Boulevard. He told the police he was waiting for his girlfriend and forgot the code to the apartment. The police discussed the temporary tags on the car and urged him to go inside the building, saying they were trying to cut him a break here. Belcher did not smell of alcohol and was not slurring his words, they said. He was later buzzed into the building by neighbors and allowed to stay for the night. Belcher returned home between 6:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. and had another argument with Perkins. In the ensuing argument, Belcher drew a handgun and fatally shot Perkins in front of his mother, Cheryl Shepard. The police arrived at the house at around 7:50 a.m. following the call from Shepard, who had recently moved there from West Babylon, New York, to help the couple care for their daughter Zoe. The baby could be heard crying in the background when Belcher's mother called the police. The baby's 22-year-old mother, Perkins, had been shot in the neck, chest, abdomen, hip, back, leg, and hand. She was shot a total of 9 times. After murdering Perkins, Belcher drove his 2007 Bentley Continental GT about 5 miles to a parking lot at the Chiefs practice facility next to Arrowhead Stadium. He stepped out of the car with a gun pointed to his head when he encountered Chiefs general manager Scott Pioli. Belcher told Pioli that he had just murdered his girlfriend and thanked him before asking for Pioli and Chiefs owner Clark Hunt to take care of his daughter. Pioli tried to persuade Belcher to drop the gun. Then Chiefs head coach Romeo Crennel, along with linebackers coach Gary Gibbs, arrived and joined the effort. The police were dispatched to the scene at 8:01 a.m. As the sound of sirens approached, Belcher told the men that he had to kill himself and couldn't be here. He knelt down by a car, made a sign of the cross, and shot himself in the head. A photograph from the scene showed Perkins' blood smeared over the chrome gear shift of Belcher's vehicle, as well as broken glass on the dashboard. On January 14, 2013, the Jackson County Medical Examiner's Office released autopsy reports, and it showed that Belcher had a blood alcohol content of 0.170 in his system, more than double the legal driving limit in Missouri. The Chiefs had a game scheduled at Arrowhead Stadium against also the struggling Carolina Panthers the day after the murder-suicide. The game went on as scheduled, following discussions between the NFL, Romeo Crennel, and the Kansas City Chiefs team captains. No formal mention was made of the shooting at the game, although there was a moment of silence for the victims of domestic violence and their families. The Chiefs defeated the Panthers 27-21. Belcher had chronic traumatic encephalopathy at the time of his death, according to a medical report. A service for Belcher was held on December 5th at the landmark International DeLawrence and Worship Center, just southwest of Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs' practice was scheduled around the event. Pioli and one of Belcher's uncles spoke at the closed service. A funeral for Perkins took place the following day at the Ridgeview Family Fellowship in Blue Ridge, Texas. Another service was held December 8th in Austin, Texas, where her father lives. Perkins was laid to rest in Pflugerville, Texas. Police revealed that the handgun Belcher used to kill his girlfriend was different from the one he used to take his own life. Belcher had other guns at his house, some of which he used at his shooting range. All were legally owned. In December 2013, his body was exhumed from the North Babylon Cemetery at the request of his family to conduct tests on whether he had CTE. On December 31st, Belcher's mother signed a wrongful death lawsuit in Missouri State Court against her son's former team, the Kansas City Chiefs. The lawsuit claimed that in the months leading up to the decedent's death, the defendant was aware of the decedent's symptoms and signs of cognitive and neuropsychiatric impairment. The defendant micromanaged virtually every aspect of the decedent's life when it came to his physical abilities to perform in the workplace, including analyzing his diet, speed, strength, and body mass index. Yet, when it came to monitoring the decedent's mental health and neurological capacities, the defendant disregarded evidence of impairments and fostered an environment where the decedent was required to play through his injuries and become exposed to further neurological harm.
Javon Belcher was a linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, a successful athlete who got there on his own. He wasn't drafted, recently celebrating his first child, a baby girl. But then this weekend, tragedy. Belcher murdering his girlfriend and then killing himself at the stadium in front of his coach and his general manager. Today, sorrow on the field, Belcher's teammates leading fans in that moment of silence.
With heavy hearts, Chiefs players took the field just one day after teammate Javon Belcher killed his girlfriend before taking his own life outside the stadium. As part of the pregame ceremonies, the Chiefs observed a moment of silence for the victims of domestic abuse. And after running back Peyton Hillis scored the game's first touchdown, he ran over to head coach Romeo Crennel to give him a hug. Police say early Saturday morning, Belcher shot and killed his 22-year-old girlfriend, Cassandra Perkins, the mother of his 3-month-old daughter, at their home. He then got in his car, drove to the team's practice facility outside Arrowhead Stadium, where authorities say he thanked coaches for believing in him. Moments later, he walked away, shooting himself in the head, as Crennel and the team's general manager looked on in horror. Police are still trying to figure out just what caused Belcher to snap. He and his girlfriend were reportedly arguing after she returned late from a concert. It's the latest in a string of NFL player suicides. Earlier this year, former Atlanta Falcons safety Ray Easterling took his life with a gun. So did Tennessee Titans wide receiver O.J. Murdoch. And in May, NFL legend Junior Seau died after shooting himself in the chest. But the Chiefs management says Belcher had no history of head injuries. With Belcher's jersey still hanging in his locker, his teammates say he will not be forgotten. ABC News has learned Kansas City Chiefs linebacker Javon Belcher not only owned guns, but he and his girlfriend Cassandra Perkins used them recreationally.
I know that before she was pregnant that they liked to go to the gun range and shoot, and that it was a lot of fun for them.
Police say Saturday, Belcher turned one of those guns on Perkins, reportedly shooting her 9 times at the home the couple shared with their 3-month-old daughter. The child was spared.
After days of silence, Javon Belcher's family publicly mourned.
The impact that this inconceivable tragedy has had on our hearts is immeasurable.
They are still stunned, considering how he felt about his new family.
Javon was overjoyed when Cassandra gave birth to their daughter Zoe. He was happy to be a new father.
They acknowledged the other family now missing Cassandra, the young mother who went by Cassie.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the Perkins family as well, as they mourn. As we grapple to understand the unpredictable and tragic ending of his life and the life of Cassandra Perkins. Only God can mend our hearts.